Alright, so what we have here is the jamstick, plugging in the 1/4 inch guitar out into the input of the Ableton Push 3 line input, and then also I'm plugging out the USB-C there from the jamstick into the USB-A port of the Push 3. So it's controlling, what you're seeing in the previous videos is 4 channels of MIDI being controlled from the, or 3 channels, well, whatever, 3 channels of MIDI from the jamstick. So it's controlling a moog, chip sounds, and magical 8-bit. And then on some of the clips I have an additional MPE instrument on the Push 3 that's controlled by the pads. So when I play a note on the guitar, it's getting an actual audio signal in, and also the MIDI signal in, so it's playing the audio live through a distortion cab in Ableton, as well as the 3 chip sounding VSTs, and then also the MPE on some of the clips on the pad. So what I'm doing is I'm playing a note and then reaching over and touching the pads, so the moog will jump from the note I'm playing on the guitar and still hold it, and play an additional note on the push that gives it that kind of like jumping sound, almost like a whammy bar, whammy pedal, dive bomb kind of deal, which is pretty cool. So I'm able to play multiple notes and let them sustain at the same time is exactly what I wanted. One big thing I will say is when connecting the jamstick, power it on first, because you will get a message, I'll put it on here in a second, that the Mac cannot handle, or your laptop cannot handle the amount of power, meaning it's drawing through the push, through the USB-C to the Mac, which is ironic because I'm having trouble powering the push by itself with the Mac. But yeah, so you got to power it on first. So hold in the power button on the jamstick, and then I plugged in the guitar cable first, you saw that, and then turned it on, then the USB-C. Just the connection to the jamstick. I waited to plug it in until after I turned it on, and that avoided that little note up in the right-hand corner, that notification saying that we have a power issue. That is pretty much it. Setup's very easy. I hit the command button and tap the arm MIDI on each channel, so that way each channel is armed and it's connected to the jamstick. Now when adding beats, I did notice I had to turn off the input to the drums, otherwise the drums would show up on the pads as well, which was kind of fun. I'd probably throw a clip in here of that too, hitting some toms or cymbals in the middle of me trying to play notes. This is all just a bunch of experiments. Nothing here was intended to be a good jam by any means, so apologize for that, but it's just kind of like my first impressions. And there were some really bad noises that came out of this, like funky notes, and it took me a few minutes to get it going. And yes, I realized the guitar is not totally in tune. I tuned it on the jamstick plugin by itself, and apparently that's not perfect, so I'm going to use an actual I have a strobe tuner. I'll tune it with that. I need to buy some new jamstick strings as soon as I figure out how to do that. And yep, so enjoy. There's just a bunch of clips of me doing this stuff. Forgot to mention the strip. That's the strip on the side there, and that the pitch bend strip is amazing. All right. All right, a big thing here is latency. I didn't really notice much latency. I did notice some of the notes were not getting picked up by certain instruments. I don't know if that's settings I have to mess with. I did mess with the sensitivity a little bit, mess with settings in all the VSTs as well, so probably need some more fiddling as you notice some notes are not hitting. But then again, I said the guitar's not totally in tune. That shouldn't affect the MIDI. It just sounds bad because the guitar going in the input actually is just a little bit out of tune, so every note sounds like it's a little bit off. And to be honest with you, I don't know which notes I actually missed on the guitar too, so I'm just kind of jamming out, paying attention to a lot of things other than the guitar. Like as you see, I'm literally looking at the camera there for a little while on OBS as well, but I'm also seeing the live screen, but it's smaller there, so I'm looking at that as well. So yeah, a lot going on here, so it's by no means perfect. You know, got some nice jams in, made some nice connections with the notes, and figuring out how to jam along with my own songs, which is what I really want to do with this guitar anyway. So yeah, overall very successful. I don't know, well, first of all, I need a longer 1/4-inch cable for my guitar. I'm sitting way too close to I was very lazy and excited to get this going, so I just kind of plugged it all in. Yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else right now. I do need to buy some new strings from Jamstik, and I can't seem to find that on their web store, so I'll be looking for that. Gonna calibrate a little more, tune a little more. I'll make another video with my findings eventually. Like I said, I just kind of set this up really quick just to kind of jam out, get a feel for it. Still learning the push, and it's very exciting. Can't wait to resolve all my power issues and hopefully get it to power without the brick. But I don't know that that's necessarily going to be a deal breaker for me. So waiting for Hamilton to let me know, and they've been very, very good. They get back to me just about every day and tell me to do some new thing. Like we restarted Ableton, we restarted the push. We've tried different computers with trying to figure out if it's a USB-C problem on my port. That's the main concern, not necessarily the power, that the USB-C is going to have issues in the future or now. So it's a good thing I started to take it right away, because I don't know how long the window is, but I think they're expanding the window of like how long you could return them, because of you know, they are still figuring out a lot of things obviously with the standalone. Mine is just the controller version, so then there's less information on it because most people are buying the standalone, which someday I probably will, but I don't see a need for it right now. I'm enjoying it as a controller. Yep, thanks for listening. Here we go. Here's some more jams. While editing, I did notice that there is a little bit of latency because I used the OBS software to record all this. So the camera was my iPhone going over Wi-Fi to the Mac, and then also the screen recording. Somehow there's a little latency in OBS. I probably have it set up that way, because I have noticed when I have headphones on there's a slight latency, so when I tap the button on the screen it's a little bit before you hear the sound, and it looks like it's off, but that's what that is. So it's just the OBS software. It's pretty tight. Like, I did not notice anything in the headphones. It was like throwing me off. The thing that was throwing me off in the headphones was the moog app not getting every note, so it kind of like do this like wonky, almost like solo thing in the background, which I really enjoy most of the time, but once in a while it's so off, it just throws off your ability to hit the next note. But I mean, that happens with MIDI, right? So everything seems way more in tune, in line, whatever, latency wise. It's not very distracting.